Tonight on CTV News at 6. They came from all kinds of industries.
There's a lot of excitement around that Canadian innovation and being a little bit more boastful about what we can do and not being as shy to show it.
Sudbury is hosting its 5th Battery Electric Vehicle Conference. The waiting game.
We still don't have our homelessness prevention program allocation for this year or the next 2 years.
Cochrane District Services is looking for help to deal with the homelessness crisis. And a West Ferris landmark in North Bay is going to be decommissioned and then demolished.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. So glad you joined us on this Thursday, May 28th. Police in North Bay are looking for help after a crossing guard was struck by a vehicle last week. Police say the collision happened around 8:45 a.m. May 20th at the intersection of Prince Edward Drive and Summit Drive. The crossing guard suffered minor injuries. The victim couldn't identify the vehicle or driver because they fled the scene. Police are looking for witnesses or cell phone, dash cam, or security camera footage of the incident. They're also reminding motorists to slow down in school zones and pay attention to crossing guards who play a vital role in children's safety.
What people don't realize is that the stop sign that the crossing guards carry has the same legal authority as a stop sign on the corner of the street. The maximum penalty is $1,000 and 4 demerit points. You know, people just need to start paying attention to what's in front of them, keep their eyes on the road.
Police in North Bay say this is the second crossing guard to be hit in the last 7 months. 2 trailers on Panel Mine Road in Elliott Lake have been destroyed by fire. Crews responded to the blaze yesterday morning, finding 2 trailers engulfed in flames. Firefighters were able to contain the blaze to the trailers and protect nearby trees. No one was injured, and the fire has been deemed accidental in nature. Provincial police in Kirkland Lake have released information today about a major drug bust from last week. More than $176,000 in suspected fentanyl and crystal meth were seized May 19th as part of an investigation. A warrant was executed for a home on Government Road East where police seized the drugs along with weapons and other items used in trafficking. A 49-year-old man from the community was arrested. Leaders in mining, automotive, energy, and government were in Sudbury today for a conference that normally focuses on the battery and electric economy, but this year the focus shifted to critical minerals. CTV's Angela Gemmell reports.
Autonomous, zero-emissions vehicles. These are just prototypes, but are an example of what's possible from Canadian collaboration.
There's a lot of excitement around that Canadian innovation and being a little bit more boastful about what we can do and not being as shy to show it.
The prototypes are part of a national initiative called Project Arrow and show how Canada's critical minerals can be used. They were the main attraction at the BEV In-Depth conference in Sudbury.
We have, our critical minerals. We have some of the defense stuff with robotics. We have, looking to the future with mining. So it's really kind of a mixed bag of, but I think the end result is, critical minerals feed into all these different aspects, all these different industries.
Jeff Golin from Valley Base Metals was part of a panel on how Canada can build a sovereign critical mineral supply chain from exploration and extraction to processing and manufacturing. There are gaps in the supply chain, though.
The product needs to be turned into something like a battery, like a car, like a telecommunications satellite. And so we need to have more manufacturers here in Canada or abroad that want those Canadian minerals. That's where the gap is turning our finished nickel into final products.
When those gaps are closed, collaborations like Project Arrow is the result.
What you're seeing behind us is the combination of several dozen suppliers, partners, education systems, and other members in the ecosystem bringing together the technology and the innovation to develop these 2 vehicles.
Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
Homelessness is a growing problem in Timmins, and officials with the Cochrane District Services Board say more coordination, funding, and housing options are needed. CTV's Lydia Chubak has more.
You know, there are a number of different
Officials with the Cochrane District Services Board say poverty, rising living costs, and limited access to health care are driving more people into crisis. The District Services Board receives about $6 million in provincial homelessness funding, plus about $1 million through the federal Reaching Home program. However, officials say the board still has not received its provincial homelessness prevention funding allocation for this year, making it difficult to plan new programs and housing initiatives.
We're coming into June now. We still don't have our homelessness prevention program allocation for this year or the next 2 years.
At a recent meeting, Timmins City councillors passed a resolution requesting more government support.
I'm just exasperated. We take the brunt of the blame for an issue that is largely provincial and federal responsibility, to at least come to the table and give us a dedicated stream of funds to do this.
With adequate funding, Cochrane District Services Board hopes to expand supportive and transitional housing options in Timmins, including possible uses for buildings it owns on Spruce Street South and in South Porcupine.
Because we have to start focusing on keeping people out of homelessness and out of shelter, because once, people enter a shelter system, it's difficult to get out.
Marks adds the district's geared to income housing wait list remains at about 2,000 people, roughly matching the number of available units.
The flows into poverty and homelessness are much greater than any one particular municipality can possibly resource to stem that tide.
Marks says while municipalities are doing what they can, homelessness is a national issue which will require coordinated action from all levels of government. He adds a community leaders meeting planned for late June involving municipalities and First Nation leaders could help create a more unified strategy across the region. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
A committee of North Bay Council voted this week to decommission and demolish the West Ferris Arena. The recommendation is now heading to Council next Tuesday for final approval. This followed debate that highlighted North Bay's long-term ice needs, facility condition, and future plans for the recreation complex. A study determined that North Bay doesn't need 6 ice pads, and the master plan for recreational facilities concluded that there is no operational need for the arena. Councillor Tanya Vraybosch argued the process to get to this point has been all wrong.
My question is that we asked for the building condition assessment. We didn't get the building condition assessment, but what we got was, here's our recommendation to demolish, and here's what it could look like, and the beauty of what it could look like when we've asked only less than 1% of the population.
The report revealed over the past 10 years, the city has done the bare minimum to keep the arena operational. The West Ferris Arena was built in 1967 at the Sam Jacks Recreation Complex. Now let's talk about the weather conditions on this Thursday. Mainly sunny and comfortable temperatures out there. Can we expect more of the same? For that answer, let's bring in CTV's Rick Wyman.
Tony, again, you're sounding like a lawyer. You know the answer to this question because I told you last hour, of course we do. It's great weather coming up this weekend. That 60% chance of precipitation, 40%, 30%. A lot of it is gone. Let's take a look at our systems map, courtesy of Environment Canada. And Tony knows the answer to this. Yeah, there might be a sprinkle overnight or early morning, but really, in all seriousness, it's going to be a nice start to the weekend. So again, we'll check out that story, the weather story. You're going to love it. Loads of sunshine, some sun and clouds, some nice temperatures in the 20s, and continuing right through over the course of the next several days. So again, big surprise here. We're not going to get that 60% chance of showers tomorrow. That is the weather story. So again, you'll enjoy the sunshine, some great temperatures, pretty well normal, and a lot more coming up. We've got the current temperatures up next, Tony.
Thanks so much for that, Rick. With the weather heating up, still to come on CTV News at 6. Why is patio season delayed in downtown Sudbury? First, we are heading to Sault Ste. Marie and the International Bridge. It's pretty quiet right now. This live webcam is courtesy of the International Bridge Administration. It's 18 degrees Celsius. We are back in just a couple of minutes.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
It's patio season across the north. While construction and delayed street sweeping may have prevented patios in Sudbury from opening on time, Officials with downtown Sudbury say not to worry, you will see them soon. CTV's Lindsay Alick reports.
A handful of patios have opened in Sudbury's downtown, but the BIA says many more should be popping up in the coming days. This following delayed street sweeping and construction. Still, officials are expecting around 17 patios in the core.
Right now, we're hovering about the same. We're looking possibly at adding one or two. So we've got some new restaurants opening. We're really excited. They're just trying to get going.
The permit program for patios began in 2016, but really gained popularity during COVID. So far this year, 8 permits have been issued.
We do have a streamlined process, and we're happy to walk people through the process. So just come speak with planning services, and we'd be happy to give people guidance on how to work their way through the process.
As for what it's done for the downtown core,
It's made it easier for us when we do events too, because it's easier for people to kind of hop from, the Columbia Festival over and grab, lunch or beer on the patio, and then come back and still enjoy the vibes, a few feet away from it. And really kind of embrace those things. So the festival atmosphere has gotten a lot better downtown. We've seen a lot more festivals want to come downtown, and that's a big part of it. And it's really helping the hospitality sector kind of get its own vibe going as well.
as with openings, the closure of patios in the city is weather dependent, with many able to remain open most years until mid-October. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
Police in Sault Ste. Marie have expanded the service's online reporting site for non-emergency crimes. Members of the public can now report 10 different crimes and submit video evidence directly through the platform while submitting a report. The platform also includes access to the security camera, bicycle and wandering or vulnerable persons registry. Originally launched in 2020, the site was to report fraud and scams, as well as unsafe driving concerns and traffic issues. Community members came together today for the grand opening of an affordable senior housing development in French River. CTV's Madison Merrier tells us more.
The French River Horizon has 30 units with 29 already filled with residents. Officials say the housing development has brought in many people to the community, but also allows more people to age in Noëlville.
Our seniors, it came to an age they had nowhere to go. Their houses were too big. They wanted to downsize. They had to move out of our community. Moved to neighboring Sudbury, neighboring North Bay.
I sold my house, moved to Batascan, Quebec, was there for 28 months and decided, okay, I'm moving back home again.
Our friends that live here come over and we have our 5 o'clock happy hour and they love it. Yes, it's very nice here. I'm very happy to be here.
The development was built with accessibility in mind to ensure seniors can age in place while maintaining independence.
What makes me happy is that our long-standing citizens don't have to go to Sudbury or Sturgeon Falls for their senior years, the best years of their life. And this complex offers them, security. It's made for people with mobility issues.
Prevost says the units are situated right beside the paramedic station with a connecting gate to ensure fast access to health care.
They offer PSWs, homemaking, and all sorts of other services that seniors need, depending how old or what kind of condition they are. And then we're working with the health unit and the dentist to make sure that they are physically and mentally okay. And that's the beauty of being here.
The project was envisioned by Noëlville's first mayor in the 1970s, and Prevost says the dream is now a reality for the small community. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Noëlville.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford has outlined a framework for the province to build up its defence industries over the next 10 years.
Our defence industrial strategy is designed to leverage this capacity while supporting Ontario workers. We expect the strategy to add 43,000 new jobs right here in Ontario, generate over $400 million in annual provincial tax revenue, and add to our $6 billion to our GDP. Folks, Ontario has the 19th largest GDP in the entire world, just Ontario alone. We're $1.3 trillion. We are an economic powerhouse, Ontario and Canada.
The move comes as the federal government looks to spend billions more on defense. Ford says Ontario has world-class workers, manufacturers, and the critical resources to expand work in the industry. The state of emergency in French River has been lifted after it was put in place 6 weeks ago due to severe flooding. The municipality made the announcement on social media yesterday, ending a flood crisis that began April 15th. Mayor Giselle Pajot says warmer weather has lowered water levels. She adds that while the emergency is officially over, several areas are still being monitored by emergency services, and some local businesses are still facing challenges.
Especially for our tourist operators, because they're still in recovery mode and probably right on the cusp of emergency still, because many of them have not been able to open. So I'm hoping that with the water levels going down rather quickly, that our tourist operators will be able to reopen and serve our wonderful tourists that look forward to coming here.
Pajot says boaters are still being asked not to cause wakes while out on the water, as it is causing damage to flood-weakened shorelines. All right, back now for a check on your current conditions. Once again, here's Rick.
Tony, nice night right across northeastern Ontario. Let's begin in Moosonee, as we always do. Mainly sunny skies and 8 degrees this hour. Cochrane 19, 18 in Timmins. Again, mainly sunny skies in Cochrane, Kapuskasing 22 this hour as well. 21 in Chapleau. 13 Wawa, sun and cloud, 18 in Sault Ste. Marie, plenty of sunshine there. Meanwhile, sun and cloud in Parry Sound as you take that drive down Highway 69 a little bit later on this evening. We've got sunshine in North Bay at 20, Temiskaming Shores 20 as well. Mainly sunny in Kirkland Lake, also at 20 this hour. Shifting on over to Greater Sudbury, 21, and the sunshine, Espanola 22, Elliott Lake 22, and Gore Bay at 19. Just a great night to get out there. Did the lawn last night, Tony. Managed to take out the whippersnipper and disturb the neighborhood. So again, any chance you get to do some yard work on a weeknight, it's always good. 7-day forecast is coming up.
All right, yeah, disturb the neighbors. I think I'll pass. Thanks, Rick. With the Prime Minister in New York. Next on CTV News at 6. Mark Carney pitches Canada as a strong ally to the United States. And life in a northern Manitoba community is almost becoming unbearable for residents. Prime Minister Mark Carney used President Trump's own words in addressing elite business leaders in New York today. He said a strong Canada will help make America great again. His speech touted Canada's plans for economic growth while still inviting investment. CTV's Graham Richardson has more.
In the heart of the world's financial capital, Prime Minister Mark Carney delivered his message of change in Canada. This is the Economic Club of New York, where presidents and prime ministers have come to speak for more than 100 years. Carney never mentioned President Donald Trump by name, but he didn't have to.
Canada Strong will help make America great again.
Whether it's LNG announcements, potential new pipelines, or boosting defense spending, Carney told the home of big American money the story of a different Canada under his leadership.
That future should include a new partnership with Canada, a true partnership that reimagines cooperation in specific sectors that are deeply challenged by global competition, a partnership with a different Canada, a stronger Canada, a more confident Canada.
Back in Ottawa, a different perspective from the opposition, accusing the Liberals of chasing investment away for years.
His elbows were again flapping up and down in the rhetorical chicken dance as he cannot seem to decide if integration with the U.S. is a strength or a weakness. He's argued passionately for both positions in the last 3 months alone.
Carney also spent a significant amount of time here on Canada's military spending, especially in the north.
We did need to step up to take more responsibility for Arctic security. We're doing that now.
And support for Ukraine in a conflict he says is significantly tilting against Russia.
But Russia's losing 35,000 troops a month. 22 to 23, depending on the month, of those troops are killed. They're losing troops faster than they can replace them.
So no mention of Donald Trump by name, but Justin Trudeau's name didn't come up either. Mark Carney signaling to American business Canada is open for business again, hoping they'll hear it, and also hoping the audience of one in the White House heard it too. Graham Richardson, CTV News, New York.
A northern Manitoba town already struggling for years is now facing another breaking point. Residents in Leaf Rapids say empty grocery shelves, wildfire destruction, and deteriorating services are making daily life unbearable. And some are now being offered the option to relocate. CTV's Alex Carpa traveled to the small town and has more.
Sylvia Smith reads a letter she received from the province, giving her the option to leave her home in Leaf Rapids.
If you would like to talk about moving, please contact your case counselor. Oh, I don't want to move.
The province says this is not a forced relocation of Leaf Rapids residents, but rather an opportunity to move somewhere with better access to essential services. However, Smith argues that those essential services should be restored to the town instead.
When you want help, there's no help. You basically help yourself or drown, sink or swim.
It's a harsh reality the over 200 people who call Leaf Rapids home face.
This is our meat section here, and as you can see, there's basically nothing here.
At the community's only grocery store, empty shelves have become all too normal, making it increasingly difficult for residents to buy basic food.
This is where our apples, oranges, everything would be normally.
Anderson says food shortages have been an ongoing issue for months, and it's heartbreaking to watch her hometown deteriorate.
It was a booming town. Like, there was so much going on here. Like, and you look at it now, it's like a fragment of what it was.
Leaf Rapids thrived in the 1970s as a hub for the nearby mine, but when it shut down in 2002, the town's decline began. Businesses closed and many services were reduced. The town's council also dissolved in 2019, leaving the province in charge. Then came last summer's wildfires, adding yet another challenge.
Majority of the residents have left Leaf Rapids over the last number of years, including after last year's devastating wildfire season, which, as you can see behind me, impacted many homes in the community.
A lot of these damages were done to these homes.
Raymond Moynier is still working to repair his home, but says access to resources is limited.
We're willing to stick it out. We're willing to fight for this town, this place, our north.
It's a sentiment shared by many who remain in Leaf Rapids, residents fighting not for an ending, but for a future. Alex Carpa, CTV News, Leaf Rapids, Manitoba.
To the Middle East now, reports are coming in that the U.S. and Iranian negotiators have reached an agreement to extend the ceasefire by 60 days. The news was first reported by Axios, citing sources close to the story. It is also reporting that the memorandum of understanding between the two countries will allow for unrestricted shipping across the Strait of Hormuz. Iran would have to remove all mines laid in the strait, and the U.S. naval blockade will also be lifted. The ceasefire extension would also see the U.S. committing to discuss sanctions relief and the release of frozen Iranian funds. Iran has not yet confirmed its acceptance of the agreement, which also needs approval from U.S. President Donald Trump. The Israeli military carried out heavy strikes early today across Lebanon, including in the country's fourth largest city, killing at least 14 people as its campaign against Hezbollah intensifies. Among the dead were 5 women and children, along with a Lebanese soldier. According to health officials and Lebanese state media, dozens more were wounded. The escalation comes after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced an expansion of military operations in Lebanon. Countries around the world are stepping up travel screening and other containment measures after the WHO declared the recent Ebola outbreak a global health emergency. The U.S. banned non-citizens who recently traveled to the Congo, Uganda, or South Sudan from entering the country, while in Canada, residents from those countries will be barred from entry for 90 days starting Wednesday, while Canadian citizens, permanent residents, and others who have been in affected areas will have to quarantine for 21 days from May 30th if they don't show symptoms. The World Meteorological Organization is warning that global temperatures are expected to continue at or near record levels in the next 5 years. In a new report, WMO forecasts that there is an 80% chance that at least one of the next 5 years will exceed 2024 as being the hottest year on record. It's also warning that Arctic warming is predicted to continue to outstrip the global average. And there's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick.
Okay, Tony, we're gearing up for the weekend. It's going to be very nice. And again, as I said earlier, that 60% chance of showers not happening to start off your weekend tomorrow. Forecast radar taking a look at what's happening and what's not happening. There you have a band kind of like west of what's happening in Timiskaming Shores, but not affecting a lot of the main area in northeastern Ontario. So again, there might be chance of a shower going on tomorrow, 30–40%, but looking very good right now. Overnight conditions, let's check out Sudbury, clear, more of the same in Sault Ste. Marie, chance of showers in Timmins. Timiskaming Shores clouding over, North Bay increasing cloud as well. Moosonee showers at 3, Caphurst we've got chance of showers, Wawa clear at 6, Gore Bay clear at 10, and Parry Sound clear at 7. This forecast is easy. Sudbury Nickel Belt cloud clearing tomorrow by about noon, 23. Then we go Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Some sun or sun and cloud. Your temperatures vary from 20 to 21 to 22. Your normal this time of the year is sitting at around 20. How about the Sioux and Algoma? Check this out, 6 consecutive days of sunshine. You've got 19, you've got 20 and 21. No complaints here. Your normal 19, 20 degrees in Sault Ste. Marie and Algoma. Your best forecast in a long time. Timmins Cochrane Campus Casing, chance of showers tomorrow at 17. Then we go with 3 consecutive days of sunny skies, all at 20, 21 and 25 Tuesday and Wednesday with the sun and the cloud. And again, your normal for this time of the year, hovering at around 20. A little bit of a similar story, well, some similarity in Timiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake. Chance of showers tomorrow at 20, then 20 for 4 consecutive days. Sunny skies Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, then some sun and cloud on Tuesday, more sun and cloud Wednesday, but in this case, the temperature going all the way up to 24. That's 4 degrees higher than normal for this time of the year in the area. And wrapping things up now, North Bay, West Nipissing, sun and cloud to start things off tomorrow at 20. Here we go, 3 consecutive sunny days at 19 and 20. Tuesday, Wednesday, sun and cloud, 19 and 21. Your normal sitting at around 20 for this time of the year, just on the cusp of the month of June. Let's roll that pick of the day, James, if you will. Thank you so much for that. Teresa, this is the middle of the night in Wanapitei. I didn't get to experience that last night in Wanapitei. That's where I live, Teresa. But again, a good shot off the lake as well. So thanks for that pick. We'll have more coming up tomorrow to wrap up the week. Stick around. Tony will have more news after the break.
Almost half of Ontario's adult population plays the lottery regularly, and if you get lucky, you could win a jackpot. If you win, there are certain things you have to do before you can collect your prize, or your payout could be stuck on hold. CTV's Pat Foran has details.
She's been disappointed a bit, I can tell. She can't go out shopping and spend her windfall.
Brian Burrows of London says his 98-year-old mother, Jessie, has been frustrated trying to cash in her winning $1,000 scratch and win ticket. She hit the jackpot in early April.
Well, I was excited. I thought, this is terrific. I can pay off my visa. But I've had real trouble getting it.
While prizes of $999 or less can be paid out by a retailer if they have the money available, winnings of $1,000 or more are processed through the OLG Prize Center.
When I went to the store to get it, they told me they couldn't give me $1,000.
If you win over $1,000 in the lottery, you need valid ID to collect it. You can't use your Ontario health card, but you can use your driver's license, passport, or Ontario photo card. But it has to be up to date and not expired. Jessie no longer drives and her passport is no longer valid.
I took pictures of the ticket front and back and the pictures of her ID, but they said her passport was expired.
Brian just wants his mother to collect her rightful prize.
She's 98 and she very law-abiding person all her life, worked hard all her life, and here she is, and she wins $1,000, and she's still waiting for it.
CTV News reached out to the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation, and a spokesperson said the prize center arranged to have OLG investigators visit her at her home, confirm her identity, and complete the prize claim. Miss Burrows was declared the rightful owner of the ticket and is being paid her $1,000 prize. That was great news for Jessie, who says she plans to pay off her credit card bill and maybe try her luck with one more scratch-off ticket. Pat Foran, CTV News.
Finding a new place to live is always stressful, but finding one that will also take pets can be even harder. It's one of the leading reasons why some pets end up surrendered to the Humane Society. CTV's Moses Woldu reports.
The shelter at the Calgary Humane Society continues to be at or near capacity, with 40% of the intake being surrendered animals.
Where we're seeing about 250 families every single year coming in to surrender their animal when it's not their choice to do so. They've simply run out of options. They have nowhere to live with their animal.
And that number doubles when you add the average of animals abandoned yearly. Part of the problem has been the lack of rental housing for pets and their families. Looking for solutions, the Humane Society partnered with the city and have introduced a toolkit.
It also includes adjusting how we at the city incentivize housing development through our granting programs and ensuring that on our rubric we're including things like, do you allow pets or not?
And the key is affordable as well. So I know that this is really focused on our vulnerable populations within the city of Calgary.
Data from the University of Calgary shows 53% of Calgarians are pet owners, but just 10% of rentals are pet-friendly, a challenge some Calgarians faced when finding housing for them and their furry friends.
You can find a lot of buildings that, charge a pretty nominal fee for cats or small dogs, but finding any place that accepts larger dogs like this guy, or doesn't charge an arm and a leg for it is pretty difficult.
It's so hard because all of the place don't like for dog.
Boardwalk is a rental housing provider. Of their 37 rentals across Calgary, 31 are pet-friendly, and they welcome the news.
Our city of Calgary has one of the highest vacancies in the nation. And so good news, there's lots of pet-friendly choices as evidenced in our communities. And having a choice is the most important thing to provide.
And Fritz says the Humane Society will help bridge the gap.
Calgary Humane is here with support. We offer behavior classes. We do offer programs to help landlords and tenants just make sure that they succeed in that relationship.
Moses Woldu, CTV News, Calgary.
2 young deer are on the road to recovery after they were left orphaned in southwestern Ontario. A driver hit their mother along a rural roadway, which is when they were discovered by a responding police officer. With more on what happened next, here's CTV's Rita Ismail.
Hidden in the grass along a rural roadside, a tiny fawn takes its first steps. Nearby, where its mother was sadly struck and killed by a vehicle.
Looped around and to make sure the deer was deceased. Didn't want a deer suffering on the side of the road. And when I got there, I saw a little baby fawn, I guess, walking towards me. I bent down, started petting it, and I heard more noise. And I saw a second baby deer there.
That's when Fawnville called for backup, blankets, and a temporary rescue operation began.
We wrapped him up and brought him back to the station. And a couple of the other officers Googled how to take care of baby fawns. So when they got back, they were able to help take care of them.
Okay, come on over there.
At the detachment, officers quickly switched from policing to caregiving. Soon after, the animals were transferred to Hobbesley Wildlife Refuge, where they're now receiving specialized care.
In calf hutches right now, they're in quarantine for the next 2 weeks. And then once they have cleared quarantine, they go into a really large enclosure that is more like natural habitat but fenced in. And we continue to provide them with care, but they are also doing more natural things like browsing and grazing. And that's sort of the process until they're old enough to be on their own, and which will be somewhere around mid-September.
White-tailed deer are currently in fawning season across southwestern Ontario, with most births happening between late May and early summer. The refuge sees many young deer this time of year, often because their mothers have been killed by vehicles. But there's another growing problem.
Another really big cause of fawns having to come into care is literally people abducting fawns. If the fawn is not actively bleeding, laying next to a dead mom, or looks terrible, then we leave it alone.
The two fawns are expected to remain at the wildlife refuge for several months before eventually being released back into the wild. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Sad news from the hockey world still ahead on CTV News at 6. Claude Lemieux, an NHL veteran who had won 4 Stanley Cups, has died.
Provided by Laura, Melanie Lynn.
The YMCA of Northeastern Ontario and Ontario Provincial Police are teaming up to support an overnight summer camp experience in August for Indigenous youth at the Wise John Island Camp near Spanish. Nigon Moswak runs over 4 days for youth across the province, ages 13 to 17. Organizers say this camp experience is designed to help youth find leadership skills, assist with their cultural connection, confidence building, and develop a strong sense of belonging. Campers will also engage in Indigenous teachings mixed with traditional outdoor adventure programming.
So I look at my home community of Henby Inlet First Nation. There's been multiple kids from Henby Inlet that have come and experienced it, and firsthand I've seen the difference and impacts that one, a network can make, and one, of understanding and belief of who you are.
There was an incredible alignment of values and purpose between what we do and what both the OPP and this program delivers. Really, it was a natural fit.
Financial barriers to participation have been removed to ensure youth can access this opportunity at no cost. Canada's Olympic and Paralympic athletes were in Ottawa yesterday to meet with the Prime Minister and the Governor General. They also met with students to inspire the next generation of Canadian athletes. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver reports.
The Games may be long over, but the Olympic and Paralympic celebrations continue. The audience, dozens of Ottawa school kids.
It's really fun. I've been very excited this whole time. I got to wear a gold medal. It's been really, really fun.
Hold on tight. A fun and motivating moment with freestyle skier Megan Oldham and her gold medal. That 10-year-old Ignacio Corpena will never forget.
Any sport, I'm now excited to do any sport whatsoever. I don't think it really matters as long as I have fun.
Do you know what this is? The meet and greet outside Rideau Hall.
Can I use the pen for a second?
Special for the students and for athletes like Paralympic gold and bronze medalist Tyler Turner.
Maybe we don't all get to stand at the top of a podium at the Olympics or Paralympics. However, that pursuit of a goal like that, it comes with community, it comes with pride, it comes with, growth, and that's what I think we can all get from sport.
From Rideau Hall to Parliament, the country's best athletes receiving a thank you on behalf of all Canadians.
Your success, your drive, your example, your sports, your sense of sporting values, that united this country.
A country athletes like figure skaters Paul Poirier and Piper Gillies are proud to represent.
Sport brings people together, and to be here and be celebrated feels great. But again, we're inspiring the next people to be like, hey, maybe that can be us one day. So I think these are really important moments, and we're just really embracing it all.
Canada brought home 36 medals in Milan, and Ottawa is hoping to grow that success with a $775 million investment in high-performance sport unveiled in the spring economic update. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
There's some long-awaited news to share with fans of heated rivalry. We now know when a highly coveted piece of clothing that appears in the show will go on sale.
All right, so tonight we can do the men's short form figure skating? Or?
My buddy Joe's in that program. Train together.
That's Hudson Williams as Shane Hollander in the romance series produced by Crave, CTV's Bell Media partner. As fans celebrated the show, many wanted to get their hands on the Team Canada fleece he's wearing. Retailer Province of Canada confirmed today pre-sales will start online next week. 10% of proceeds will go to You Can Play, an organization aimed at addressing homophobia and other forms of discrimination in hockey. Despite the home ice crowd, the Montreal Canadiens suffered another setback to the Carolina Hurricanes in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final.
Getting in front of that attempt. Here's Blake with Stankoven. Score! 3-0 Carolina.
The Canes scored 3 goals in less than 3 minutes late in the first period and never looked back. They added an empty netter in the third period to beat the Habs 4-0. The Canadiens were held to just 18 shots, and at one point, frustrated fans were chanting, "Shoot the puck." Carolina now leads the series 3-1. A hockey legend has died. 4-time Stanley Cup champion Claude Lemieux received a standing ovation just 2 nights ago in Montreal as the torchbearer before Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final. Lemieux played 21 seasons with the NHL for 6 different teams between 1983 and 2009. Born in Buckingham, Quebec, he started his professional career with the Montreal Canadiens and would hoist the cup with the team in 1986, along with Stanley Cup wins in New Jersey and Colorado. The skilled, tough guy had a reputation for filling up the score sheet and the penalty box. The cause of death has not been released. Lemieux was 60 years old. The latest look at a highly anticipated summer movie includes a few words from its Oscar-winning director. David Daniel has that and more in tonight's Hollywood Report.
How will disclosure change us? I believe for the better. It will remind us of our capacity for empathy and that there is something bigger out there than just ourselves.
Director Steven Spielberg has something to say in the final trailer for his new film, Disclosure Day. The sci-fi thriller based on a story by Spielberg opens in theaters June 12th. Ted Danson is staying busy. The Emmy-winning actor has joined the cast of a new show for Apple TV. He'll play a sexually active senior in the comedy series, with Elizabeth Banks starring as his newly divorced daughter. Banks is also an executive producer on the show.
It is a bed.
Oh, yeah, no, it's...
Or there's the couch.
Yeah, oh, maybe...
That is where he died, though, so...
Wow,
it's up to you.
No, that's...
I'll get sheets.
Thanks.
Miss You, Love You writer-director Jim Rash couldn't be happier with his stars, Allison Janney and Andrew Reynolds.
Allison I will chase to everything because I've known her for years, and from way, way back, you know, to whatever, it's like if she's available, yes, please. And Andrew, although I hadn't met him, you know, now he'll be that for me.
Take your victory lap quickly.
Miss You, Love You debuts Friday on HBO Max. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
It's gotta be hot.
According to the Canadian Real Estate Association, home sales took a dive in April across the Northeast. Sales in Sudbury dropped more than 35% from the same time last year, the highest drop of the major cities in the region. The average sale price in Sudbury was up almost 3% over 2025. Sault Ste. Marie also had a major decline, with home sales dropping 32.5% compared to last year in April, despite home prices also coming down. Timmins saw a decline of 15.5%, with home prices up by 1.7%. North Bay was the only major center to see an increase in home sales last month. Sales were up 2% despite a 14% jump in house prices. Nearly 3,000 federal public servants have been approved for an early retirement package. As part of its plan to trim the size of the public service by 2029, the federal government launched the Early Retirement Incentive Program earlier this spring. Under the program, eligible public servants could apply to retire early with no penalty. The Treasury Board of Canada says nearly 6,800 public servants have applied, though just under 2,800 packages have been certified so far. And Canada's biggest bank reported earnings today, beating expectations. Let's get the details now from BNN Bloomberg's Morella Fernandez.
Royal Bank reported a profit of $5.5 billion for its latest quarter. That's a 26% improvement over last year. The bank's lending business was strong, and like other banks, it's benefiting from the rise of stock markets and trader activity. Royal says it will repurchase as many as 45 million shares, or about 3% of its common stock. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 72.56. West Texas Intermediate up just a bit to 88.90. Western Canadian Select is down almost $4 to 71.61, and the TSX gained 105 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
And here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold is up $39.97, closing the day at $44.9622 US an ounce. Silver is up $1. Copper moved forward 6 cents, and nickel is up a nickel, ending the day at $8.50 US a pound. And Rick is back now for one last look at your Friday weather.
Temperatures are also up, along with loads of sunshine just in time for the weekend in Greater Sudbury after a cloudy start in the morning. Sunny skies in 23. Timmins, the chance of showers at 40%, 17 your high. Sault Ste. Marie, 20 and loads of sunshine. Great streak starting in the Soo. Sun and cloud in North Bay also at 20. Slight chance of showers in Parry Sound down Highway 69 at 20. And 30% chance of showers to Temiskaming Shores for tomorrow. Loads of sunshine Saturday and Sunday. Tony, it's going to be a nice, very nice weekend. Back to you.
Good to hear. Thanks so much for that, Rick. And folks, thanks for watching CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Ryma. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Amanda Hicks. Have a good evening. Good night.